Good Saturday morning to everybody, and welcome to Mortgage Matters radio show with Rob Weinberg. I am Gary Byron. Rob, good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
How have you been?
Great.
How was your week?
Excellent, and the market is definitely picking up a bit.
You know, I know it is because I got to tell you, I was reading, I don't know what day it was. Was it Sunday's paper? Saturday? I think maybe it was Saturday's paper or Friday's paper recently that did the interest rates go down yet again for a 15-year
Yeah, they've
mortgage?
gone down. Like we've talked about, they had gone up a bit over
Right.
the last couple months, and now they're not at those historically all-time low levels, but we have seen a little bit of a pullback in the interest rates, so there might be another opportunity for people here.
So why?
that
What do you
missed out.
attribute that to?
Well, I think that a lot of the inflation fears and things have now been priced into the market. The stimulus and things that were pushing the rates up, people are worried about. Now we know what that is. It's been priced in, like I said, and it's not as much of a fear as it was before.
How long do you think that'll last? You think before it starts to go back up again?
Couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like anything, you have this opportunity. You have to be decisive when an opportunity comes up to take advantage of it, especially when it comes to buying a home or refinancing. Because if you hem and haw over it and question it,
Right.
you might in 2 weeks say, I'm ready, and the rates have gone up, and it's a different scenario
Wow.
for you at that point.
Oh, boy. Timing is everything, they say.
Absolutely.
You know what I want to talk about this morning, and I know that you're the right person to have this discussion with, is your credit score. Credit strategies. Let's call it credit strategies rather than just credit scores, because there's so much more to it than just your credit score, right? For example, what is the minimum credit score that mortgage companies will consider? When they take a look at your credit score.
And this has changed a lot in the last year. So pre-pandemic, you could get a mortgage with as low as a 580 credit score. I'm talking about 2018, 2019, even in the beginning of 2020. I did a lot of loans for people with 580, 590 credit scores. Then when the pandemic hit, and a lot of lenders did tighten up guidelines, investors got scared, and then the minimum credit score increased to around 620. And it's been around that level for the last year or so. So I would say right now, you really want to be prepared for a 620 credit score. But that's with dealing with a mortgage broker or a correspondent lender, a direct lender like myself. If you're going to go to a big bank or a credit union to get a mortgage, they typically have higher standards. You normally would need even up to a 680 credit score or higher to deal with some of the local credit unions and local banks. They don't have as much flexibility.
So if I understand this right, my next question was going to be, where do you go for a credit score? But it sounds like you kind of just answered that. It's your lender, your bank.
Yes.
Your financial institution that you do business
Yeah,
with.
because there's a lot of places, and I get a lot of people emailing and calling me with questions because they saw that their credit score was a certain amount online from their credit card company. The only place you can really get a credit score that's going to be accurate to get a mortgage is from a lender. I don't care who that lender is. All mortgage companies use the same FICO scoring model, and they should be the same score between all mortgage companies, but that's not going to be the same as your auto loan score, credit card, personal loan. All those type of loans use different models, and I've seen some cases where it could be as much as 50 or even 100 points different from one model to another. So you got to get with a lender to get that real score.
All right, so then let's talk about the commercials that I'll often see. Credit Karma. What is the other one? Credit Sesame, I think, is one. How are they to even be used? Why do they even exist if it's really from your bank or your financial institution that really has, the accurate number? Why do these other, these Credit Karma places even exist if their scores are not that accurate and they're not even taken into consideration?
So the reason that those sites exist is for money, for profit. They're marketing companies. So the way that Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, and all these online sites work that are giving you a credit score for free is they have partnerships with mortgage companies, with auto loan companies, personal loans, credit card companies, and banks. Their sole goal is to get you to apply for loans through their website. They get paid huge amounts of money to generate leads. Like I said, they're marketing companies. They use that free credit score to entice you. They use that free credit score to get you in the door so they can get all your personal information, be able to review your credit, and then sell that information off to all sorts of companies. And not only that, but then solicit you and say, hey, looks like you'd qualify for this credit card. Looks like you should refinance your home. Click here. And again, they have these partnerships. They get paid huge amounts of money to sell this information. They don't even care in most cases whether you get approved for the loan or not. They are getting paid as a lead generator for all these companies. So with that said, what can you do with them? What good are they?
Right.
The answer is you can use them to see if your score is going up or down. But I've had people come to me and say, Credit Karma said my score is a 700. I run them on a mortgage credit report, and they're a 625.
Oh,
it
that's
can be that
significant.
different.
Yeah.
The other one I will tell you is I had a client just this week come to me for a VA loan, and I came in at a 705. They said that they had looked at their credit online, and it was like a 682. They're like, well, why is yours higher? Same thing we're talking about. So most of these online sites are using something called a Vantage score. You got to read the fine print when you get these scores, because they're not even using a FICO score in a lot of cases, or they'll give you two different scores. One of them's a credit score, maybe an old version, and the other's a Vantage score. But the thing is, these Vantage scores, I don't know one lender that even uses them, and the Vantage score can be a lot higher. Vantage score might say you're a 740 when you're really in the 600s, but the idea is to entice you. If we show you have a good credit score, then you're going to apply for loans with us.
But that's misleading. It's
misleading, but
yeah.
so is a lot of marketing in this country today. It's all about marketing, lead generation, selling your information. It's all about data aggregation. And if they have this huge database of millions of consumers that they have their credit information on, regardless of the score, they have the information on their credit report. How much debt do they have? Do they have a mortgage, home equity line of credit, etc.? That's very valuable to businesses, to financial institutions, and they'll partner with Credit Karma and these other sites to say, hey, we'll buy everybody from you as a lead that comes in with this criteria. And they make huge amounts of money doing that. So realize that you are the product. If it's free and there's no incentive, you think, it's because you as the consumer are the product.
There's even one where if you call them, all you got to do is call their 800 number, and you automatically boost your credit score by like 10 points. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching it, that's not how to boost your credit score.
I've heard that advertisement, yes. And, again, you got to read the fine print, because everything has it in life, and it's really coming into play now with technology and these credit scoring sites. So use it to see, is my score going up or is my score going down? But don't take what they tell you as your score as the gospel. Get with a lender, like we said earlier, a mortgage lender that can pull that tri-merged report from all three bureaus and tell you your exact credit score to get a mortgage.
Yeah, this Vantage stuff that you mentioned, it has no merit.
Not right now. I mean, it's a good idea that they wanted to create this uniform credit score instead of having all these models, but it hasn't been adopted. The only ones that have adopted it are these websites.
All right, so if you contact Equifax, for example, directly, is that a legitimate place to contact for your credit score?
You can get a credit score from them, but again, there's all these different versions of the credit score. You're going to get a consumer credit score. If you contact them and ask them for a score, you're going to get a consumer credit score. That's a different score than a financial institution is going to get if you apply for an auto loan. That's a different score than a mortgage company is going to get when you apply for a mortgage. There's all these different versions. I believe there's 9 versions of the FICO model.
Can you tell them, I want the mortgage credit score?
I had a client tell me a few weeks ago that they are subscribed with Equifax or Experian for their credit reporting and their credit monitoring service.
Yeah.
And they said for $40 a month, they would be able to get the mortgage score, or a $40 fee. That's what it would take to get the credit score. And this client in particular gave me the score, and it did match.
Okay.
But you got to realize, mortgage companies aren't just looking at one score.
No, they're looking at 3,
We're
right?
looking at all 3 credit bureaus, and we're going off the median of those 3, the middle of those three. So if one's a 600, one's a 650, and one's a 700, mortgage companies are going to use and price your loan off that median, that 650. So if you called Equifax and got that score and they give you the 700, you think, hey, I'm good. I got a 700 mortgage score. But again, that's one bureau. You have to get all three. It's just a lot easier as a consumer to get in touch with a trusted advisor, a mortgage lender, and have them run your credit. If you're serious about getting a mortgage, have them do a hard inquiry on your credit, look at all your scores, and give you a credit strategy, as we're going to continue to discuss.